Hey everyone, welcome to today's video and welcome to a first impression essence video. So I thought I'd take the video that I did with the new Catrice products for spring summer 2017 and sort of do a different twist on it. Essence has just come out with their spring summer 2017 update, and I thought, why not try a few of those products? There wasn't as much that I wanted to try as with Catrice, which is usually the case. With Essence, I'm always a little bit more selective because I feel the quality just isn't always there. But yeah, I picked up a few new things and I thought I'd play with them for the very first time on camera. So I'm swatching things. I'm going to be putting everything on my face. Everything that you see on my face right now that's new, that's Essence. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's definitely something new for me. And yeah, let's just get to the new Essence products. So I've already done my brows and my foundation because those are items that I didn't buy from the new collection. One thing that I did buy from the new collection is this Essence Camouflage Full Coverage Concealer, and this is what it looks like. I picked this up. It looked quite yellow in store, but I was very much intrigued because this definitely seems to come in a shade that is light enough for me. My problem usually with Essence products is that they run too dark even if they have like a lightest color. And also, if you are someone with deeper or medium skin tones, they don't really cater to that. They definitely cater to more like fair skin tones, but not like super fair. But this seemed to be pretty light, and when I swatched this on my arm the other day, and I'll swatch this for you as well on my hand right now, I actually was very much impressed with it. So that is what it looks like on my hand, and then when I start blending it, I found that it blended very nicely and that it blended in quite seamlessly. So I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but to me in real life, there is coverage there, but it's pretty much undetectable. So if this definitely is a full coverage concealer and it can conceal all of like the splotches that I still have left on my face, then that would be great. So let's see how this works. I'm just going to apply this as I usually would, which means a bit on my nose, a bit on my chin, as well as on my dark circles. There isn't a whole lot of product on this doe foot applicator, I have to say. That's the first thing I'm noticing. Usually with other concealers I can just like take one application and that's done. But I think that's enough. Okay, so let's see how this blends out. I do like the coverage it gives. It's a very light coverage though. It definitely doesn't really get the job done as much as I thought it would. Especially because the name is Full Coverage Concealer and you can still see some discoloration right there underneath my eyes. So I'm just going to apply a little bit more. Yes, this definitely needed a second coat to really get it blended into my skin. I find this to be pretty thin, pretty runny. It feels quite wet when you apply it. And that's also why it kind of like blends into nothing, which on my face isn't too much of a problem. But I noticed right here in that under eye area, I can still see a little bit of discoloration there. And with my usual concealers, that's usually covered. So it's a concealer, but it's not a full coverage concealer. I just powdered my face, and now I'm going to move on to the next step because Essence also came out with a new bronzer. This is the Luminous Matt bronzing powder for lighter skin. Again, Essence isn't the type of brand that usually has products for very fair skin tones, but I like the look of it. There is one that is a little bit darker, but I couldn't really see too much of a difference. And when I spotted this in store, it kind of reminded me of what they did for a limited edition collection last summer. This is the Lights of Orient bronzer in 01 Sunkissed Beauty, and it has that same idea of like a lighter shade in the middle and then something darker on the outer edge. As you can see, this is definitely a lot lighter than this one is. I'm just going to grab my bronzer brush and see how I fare with this. And this is a swatch of the bronzer. So as you can see, it's definitely pretty light. and it definitely has a warmer undertone. I don't think this is overly orange or anything like that. It definitely adds a nice bit of, well, color to the skin, I think. So yeah, this is a good bronzer for the price. I think this was like $2.99 or $3.99. I'll put all of the prices in the description box. So the next step in my makeup routine right now would be to contour, but there aren't really any new contouring products out, but they did have this, and this is the Blushplay Sculpting Blush Palette. If I understand the back of the description right here correctly, then this is what you're supposed to be highlighting with. This you should use as a contour shade, and then this should be your blush shade, apparently. Those are the swatches. This is the highlight, this is the sculpting shade, and that is the blush shade. They seem to be really nice, actually. So yeah, they are pretty soft. So since I have a different highlighter to try, I won't be using that, but I will be using this as my contour and that as my blush today. So I'm gonna go in with the sculpting color, and I hope that a deep peach tone is going to be flattering as a contour. I'm not sure how this is going to work. It definitely does something to darken it up, but I don't think this is really my favorite. I think personally that this shade right here that I now use to contour would be really, really stunning if you have a deeper skin tone. So if you have olive or medium, perhaps even a deeper skin tone, this might look really, really nice on you as a blush. For highlight, because that's usually my next step, I'm going to be using the new Glitter in the Air Strobing Blush and Highlighting Powder. Now, I already swatched this, and I'll swatch it for you today as well. And this is really not like pigmented at all. It's even not that highlightery, I now see, because the sun is shining. So it gives a little bit of glow, but not too much. I'm really curious to see what this will look like when I apply it to my cheek. That it's a strobing highlight, like I can see that, because it's definitely like a fresh looking shade, but it's like too light to really be a blush, and it's too light to really be like, it doesn't have enough shine for it to be a highlight. This is a nice sort of like no makeup day kind of powder. If you want to put something on your cheeks but you don't want to go too overboard, then this is nice. I'm actually glad that this powder isn't really working for me, because now I can go into this, and this is the new eye and face palette. So what this is that it has 4 eyeshadow shades, and then it has 2 cheek products in here as well. It comes with a highlight and with a blush. This just looked incredibly stunning to me, and I think I'm going to be dabbling into this one for my highlight instead. So I'll swatch the highlight. It looks really, really stunning like this. It's very glowy. It definitely has a warmish, peachy undertone, which for a drugstore product, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with. So I've now blended out the swatch a little bit. It's got a really beautiful sheen to it, but it definitely has visible sparkle in it. It definitely has some noticeable sparkle, and I also see that on my cheek. Like, you can really sort of see the product laying on it. Probably not from a distance, but when I look in my mirror that I have right here, I can definitely see little sparkles all over my face. We will get back to this in a little bit, but I promised I would be applying the blush from this palette as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. This does kick up a little bit of powder right now that I've stuck a brush into it. So I always like to apply my highlighter first and then my blush to kind of make sure everything gels together. So I pretty much use my blush to kind of get the whole cheek look together, which looks really intense right now. So it's time to do something about these eyes. I already showed you this one, and I'll be swatching that for you in a minute. But I also have this. So apart from these new eye and face palettes, they are also doing something called My Must-Haves palette. So what this is that you buy an empty palette, and then you buy the individual pans that go in here. Now mine is all eyeshadow, but I believe they also do bronzers and lipsticks for this, perhaps even a face powder and blushes as well. But they didn't have those at the store that I was at, so I couldn't really try those, and eyeshadow is my jam, so I was like, I'll just try some of the eyeshadows. So this is what you get. There is a 4-pan available as well as an 8-pan. The palette itself is $159 for 4, and then each of the shades in here is also $159. And these are individual pans that click in and out of the system. Let me see if I can do this without breaking anything. So they click out and you just have a little pot, and each of the pot comes with a separate lid as well. So if you only fancy like one shade or maybe just 2 and you don't want to buy the palette, then you can, but I do have to say that I find the packaging that way a little bit flimsy. I thought I'd make an eye look using these 4 shades, but also throw in the, well, whatever I can from this little palette right here. This palette comes with a creamy matte shade, like a taupey brown shade, this intense coral with a very interesting golden shimmer. This is like NARS Orgasm on crack in a shadow. That's pretty much what this is. And then you have a matte dark brown. Let me swatch these for you very quickly. Those are the shadows. And I was amazed by how pigmented these were. And what Essence sometimes does is that they have overspray. So those are the eyeshadows that they sometimes have overspray, and these definitely don't have that. So that's the entire palette. This palette, so I put this together myself. I think there are 20 different shades available. This is 010 Apricotta. The second shade I picked up is 07 Mauvey Time. This is like a dark brown. This is 03 Miss Foxy Roxy. This is 18 Black as Berry, and it's like a very dark plum shade. So those are the must-haves eyeshadows, and I was very much impressed with these. They feel very smooth and buttery. The 8 shades that I put together work really nicely together, and they are very blendable, they are very soft, but they definitely are easy to blend away. The darkest shade in here, once you start blending that, it can look a little bit muddy, so you definitely have to like apply it and then blend it out and then reapply it and then blend it out. But these work really well, and I think that these may be some of the best eyeshadows that Essence has put out recently. I still have one thing I would like to show you, and that is a new Lash Princess mascara. So this is the Lash Princess Sculpted Volume Mascara. I never tried one of these Lash Princess mascaras before, so we'll see. There is a lot of product on this brush. A lot. I can't really get the brush hairs like to really comb through my lashes. Do you see that edge? Do you see those little things? That's product. That's how gloopy and thick and sticky this is. It does make my lashes look very long though. But it's very messy. Oh, and now it's there too? Oh no. Not my favorite mascara. No. That's the finished makeup look. I do think there are some really nice products here. I like the bronzer. The concealer, I'm not too fussed about. I think that if you need a very high coverage concealer, this is not it. It's just not. I love the eyeshadows in these palettes. I really, really like that. And then the blush in this, I really, really like. The sculpting powder doesn't work as a sculpting powder, but it can definitely work as a blush. If I have to say, okay, go out and buy it, I think the shadows that I put together in this palette are the best that I have here. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe because I make new videos every single Sunday. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!